Good evening, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Ivan Ross. I am the president and founder of Excelsior Development LLC. We're an urban development and planning firm based out of Elwood, Indiana. And today, I'm having this meeting to talk about the Muncie development plan that we've come forth with, specifically focusing in the East Central neighborhood and the improvements we want to make there. Now, before we go into that, it's always useful to kind of have an outline for a baseline kind of idea of what we're going to go over. So first, we'll give an introduction about the potential project area. Then we'll go into development and like the specific components that break that down. Then we'll go into estimated generated fiscal revenue. And then from there, I'll provide some concluding remarks. Then finally, there'll be time for questions at the end. And you can see in between, there's more stuff that we'll talk about. So here at Excelsior, we have a slogan that is sustainably moving ever upwards. Now, Excelsior itself is Latin meaning ever upwards, and we find that development and always increasing is not always a good thing if not done through sustainable channels. So keeping that in mind throughout this presentation, this is the project area that we'll be looking at. As you can see, it's mainly gray. When people speak of cities, there's an expression that commonly gets thrown out that cities are concrete jungles. But to us at Excelsior, this looks more like a concrete desert. So here are some streets to kind of orient yourself as we move along. You can see that it's flanked by Madison, Jefferson, Howard, and Adams. Specifically, this is the area that we're going to be examining. If you look close, in the area itself, you see it's primarily parking lots, definitely land that is underutilized, and definitely land that could significantly increase its green capacity. So speaking to that, here is the current land use plan that is kind of in place now. You can see that by and large the area is gray with very little red and very little orange, which you can see on the side is coded for different uses. So specifically, this project is located in the East Central neighborhood, which is probably most notable because of the historic districts that it encapsulates. Now specifically, the project that we will be examining is located right adjacent to the Invally-Crowborough Historic District, but the area itself does not have the same historic identity. And so when tackling this project, we want to give it a new identity, and we were going to tackle that through creating a more sustainable community. So from that, we will go right into the project renderings. So this is the total project rendering, and we'll break it down piece by piece so it's a little bit easier to digest. So first we'll start off with the lower left-hand corner, as you can see. So this area is already pretty much developed. There's not a lot of space, but even with that, there are things that we would propose to change. So the first would be introducing an apartment complex that's 2 floors, so that will generate a lot, or 8 new spots of 7,200 square feet. Then also we will rework parking and make the lot more shared, and that will provide more opportunities for green space. So from there, we'll talk about the next section, the lower right-hand corner, as you can see. So this project area has a lot of potential. First, we see the opportunity to put in a new apartment complex of 16 units, and each unit will be around 600 square feet, so this is perfect for a student. And also, we propose putting in a retail building. Now, this is shown as just one big retail building, but that could be further broken up depending on what the community needs. We see this as a great spot for a grocery store. Then the next thing, maybe the anchor of our proposal, is a just under an acre urban farm. Now this farm will incorporate animal husbandry as well as food production and really provide the cornerstone of sustainability and localized food production. It's an exercise of tactical agrarianism that we are really excited about. Then we also propose putting in a solar panel field. We estimate that you could fit about 400 solar panels within this field, And ideally, this would serve as a model of something that the city can incorporate throughout its entirety. So now we'll transition to the last section that we'll be talking about today. So this project area has a lot of opportunities as well. And the first thing we'll speak to is retail space. So once again, this retail space could be one larger business or broken up into smaller businesses or restaurants, whatever the community decides is necessary and wanted. Then also we propose a park. So with the way we are reworking parking, we will have more space for green areas and more space for leisure and space to actually enjoy it instead of just staring at concrete all day. Next, we propose putting in triplexes. So these would be 15 units in total of about 1,600 square feet. So it would be a great place to raise a family and provide some of the missing middle housing that is currently not present in the area. Finally, next we'll put in a shared parking garage. So this will be around 3,100 square feet. So it's quite substantial, but it will generate 560 new parking spots, which will generate a lot of revenue that we'll see later. Then also we propose 2 more retail buildings. Now these are coded retail, but if office space is more needed in the area, it could definitely change depending. And also it's important, we found it important to incorporate a shared or outdoor plaza as features like that become more and more of a necessity in a COVID entrenched world. And also just a general note, the reworking of parking has allowed us to put in more trees and more grass, things that have been previously absent in the area. So if we're looking at just the generated fiscal revenue from parking, you can see that based on just these percentages, which can change fluctuating on what the community wants and what is needed. And you can see that there is quite a bit of yearly revenue to be made. And then further looking at development types and the revenue that they can generate. So you can see that the retail businesses and apartment complexes and the triplexes can generate quite a bit of income from rent. And I will note that the figures given are based off of data reflected on Zillow and other rental websites for comparable units. So concluding, here are some closing remarks made by us here at Excelsior Developments. We see this area as having huge potential for underutilized land. And with that, through utilizing it more efficiently, you can give the area identity. So it will create a more diverse community while giving a lot of new places to live, work, play, and congregate, ultimately all in the same area, which is sustainable. So this also provides massive opportunities for revenue generation where there wasn't any before. This is also an effort that can help piece Muncie together. If you think as a city as a mosaic, this is a tile that other areas can build upon, ultimately creating a more beautiful and sustainable city. So with that, we want to close on our slogan, sustainably moving ever upwards, and that's how we see this project moving forward. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them now. If not, you can always visit us at excelsiordevelopments.com, and you can always shoot me an email at ivan@excelsiordevelopments.com. Thank you so much for listening. Have a good night.